Did you ever want to learn how to juggle? This short video will show you how to get started juggling, teach you the basics of juggling, as well as give you some tips on getting started. It might be called the Beginner's Guide to Juggling, or even better yet, the Art of Juggling. Stick around until the end when Tom shares some common mistakes people make when learning to juggle, and of course, most importantly, how to avoid them. Now, some of you might know Tom Flynn, our juggler par excellence, for his cost management and health audit skills for Spend Men today. But today, that's mine and Tom's way of showing our appreciation for the AP and accounting community. So today he's going to teach us all how to juggle. So Tom, you make it look easy. Is it? And can you show us how?
It is very, very easy. I should point out, if I can do it, then and anyone can do it. And I will do my level best to explain to everybody the art of juggling. It's a family show, so I'll just refer to them as beanbags. We're gonna talk about juggling 3 beanbags today. First thing you need is 3 beanbags. Now I have been joined by my lovely assistant off stage. She's shy to show
Hi,
her.
assistant.
Yeah, hi, assistant. And what we're going to talk about is just juggling 3 different beanbags, but it's a 3-step process to be able to do this. And the thing you don't want to do is start with all 3 beanbags. So my recommendation to anybody is step 1 is to start with just 1. Now, in this case, I don't have beanbags. I used a balled up pair of socks. I was going to use baseballs, but I figured I didn't want to break my toe. So you guys can find anything in your house, soup cans, whatever you want. And the first thing you do is just pass it back and forth, just from one hand to the other, because this is juggling, everybody. This is all it takes. This is the basic movement of juggling. And then you just gradually increase the number of beanbags as you go. So eventually you step it up to 2 beanbags. Nice work. And what you do is you'll throw 1 beanbag up, and before you catch it with the other hand, you then throw the beanbag that's in that hand to your throwing hand. So we'll just show that motion right here. Nothing to it, and you just do that back and forth. And actually, you guys, this is the elbow. This is how you learn right here. If you can get this right, sit on a Zoom call for about 5 minutes and just practice this motion, throwing.
Tom, are you telling the audience not to pay attention to the Zoom call?
Not directly, no. I was saying that, that's the beauty of this. Juggling helps increase focus. So whatever you hear going on in the background, you'll retain 32.5% more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and you can make up stats. 32% of stats are made up on the spot 85% of the time in half the cases. So you can get me up. So you throw this back and forth, and then eventually you want to add a 3rd beanbag, and my lovely assistant won't let us down. And then you just take that motion and you just start using all 3 at the same time. And it really just is the same motion over and over. It's that same first motion with 1 beanbag going back and forth. You step it up to 2 and 3. Pay attention to your Zoom meetings, and you'll be juggling in no time.
Okay. You made that look pretty simple. Could you go through it quickly one more time?
Yes, I can go through it quickly one more time. It starts with 1. You just work on throwing 1 back and forth, and then you slowly increase it to 2 beanbags. When that happens, you just practice throwing those back and forth. You just kind of get that motion down, and then eventually you want to add the 3rd beanbag. And when that comes in, you just start rolling them around back and forth, and voila, that's all there is to it.
I am impressed, Tom. First of all, and just for the audience, he made me promise that if he dropped any of them, we would cut it out, and he didn't. Okay, I'm telling you, this is straight through. So, but before we get to a few tips from Tom, will you help me play a joke on those who think they can they can just read the show notes and understand what the broadcast is about? By the way, you can't, as Tom just demonstrated. So please write your favorite ice cream in the comments below. This will confuse them. If you're like me and you have 2 favorites, chocolate and coffee, feel free to write them both in, even if they're not chocolate and coffee. But I digress. If you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up, especially if you want Tom to come back and do more of these. And if you loved it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We produce new content for the channel 3 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are devoted to payments and accounts payable issues. We don't usually do juggling. And Saturdays are reserved for Wordle. So now, back to Tom and some tips on getting started. So, Tom, how long will it take to get like good like you?
Okay. I don't think that's the appropriate way to say that, but I appreciate you. What I just demonstrated honestly should take about, let's go with 10 minutes, maybe 5, depending on how you're feeling that day. That could creep up to 15 minutes, but probably about 10 minutes. And it really throw one back and forth, then two. If you do it that way, you'll figure it out in no time.
And so you should tell your boss you're not fooling around. You're actually improving your concentration and you're hearing more at the meeting by juggling.
Yeah, yeah, and that what they in school, the kids that couldn't pay attention, they start giving them these fidget spinners.
Yeah,
So
a fidget.
without any medical background, I'm just applying the same logic that if you
Okay.
juggle during the meeting, you'll retain more information.
Okay, so you're not going to come and do surgery for us.
Right.
Well, maybe. Okay. What are some common mistakes or misconceptions that people have regarding juggling?
Okay. Common mistake. Oh, starting with 3. That I mean, hey, if you're that person who can just kind of like start it out and figure it out, that's one mistake. Very hard to figure that out.
Yeah.
So you'll get frustrated. You'll drop the beanbags quite a bit, and you'll want to just give up. And I'd say, yeah, that's the most common one. Start with 1.
Okay. And you don't really need any equipment to start. You can just go to your sock drawer. Or if you're like many of us, the odd sock drawer. This is a perfect use for all those odd socks you have.
Yeah. And I'm calling out Jamie Radford to start with soup cans. I think he could pull it off.
I think he could. And in fact, I'm going to his conference in a few weeks. Maybe I'll get them to have 3 soup cans there.
Live on stage. Yeah, you heard.
But the last time he actually let somebody come up and do something where they put a can of water, a big thing of water over his head, and it worked. He didn't get drenched. All right, now I'm.
No, I don't consider that working. I think it would have worked much better if it fell on him. But okay, go.
I'll tell. Okay, he'll be happy to know that. All righty. And so, can you give the audience a few tips to help them get started?
Actually, yes, I can. At first, I was talking about just throwing one beanbag back and forth. What might help is if you're holding the other 2 beanbags when you do it, you just get used to having to move everything around all at once. So that's one way to do it. And then another interesting tip is if you were to just practice just with one hand back and forth like that, that just helps dexterity and kind of get the rhythm. And those 2 things. Have all beanbags in hand while you're throwing them back and forth, and then practice with one hand as well. I think that would help with the dexterity and just pulling everything together.
Okay, that's a good tip. All right, that was great, Tom. But do you know what I saw on the internet when I was getting ready to do it? Apparently, the big thing now is to juggle and do the Rubik's Cube at the same time. So do you think you could come back and show us how to do that someday soon?
Juggling the Rubik's. So when I was young, I have 3 civvies, 2 brothers and my sister, and every single one of them could do the Rubik's Cube, and I could not. So my 2 methods were either pulling it apart, popping the cube, and then sticking all the pieces back together in order, or pulling the stickers off and putting those on. So if as long as you let me apply my methodology for solving the Rubik's Cube, then I might have a chance. I'd have to practice a little bit, though.
You know what? My son used the same method as you. He came to me when he was 8. He said, "Look, Ma, I could do the Rubik's Cube." I thought, "Oh my boy, I'm so proud." Until he started with the stickers.
Yeah. Now that I am college educated, I'm a professional for several decades now. I picked up a Rubik's Cube. My daughter can solve it. I picked it up from her desk, and I thought, well, maybe I could give it a go. I still can't get anywhere as near. But I heard that people who can't solve the Rubik's Cube are geniuses. So I think I heard that. But
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah. Thanks, solidarity. Thank you.
Yeah. So Tom, this is not the first time we've had Tom on this broadcast. He joined us for a really interesting discussion on data, technology, and careers as part of our recent AP Technology Week. You can watch that right now using the link that will appear momentarily on YouTube and is in the show notes below. As always, we appreciate your thumbs up, your subscribes, your shares, and your comments. And of course, we really appreciate Tom for coming and sharing with us.
Well, Mary, thank you so much for having me. But honestly, the theme of this week is accounts payable appreciation. And we joke, we have a good time. But on a serious note, the heroes in accounts payable across the world that are working hard to pull all the different ends of an organization together. We do not forget about them. It's silly to dedicate only 7 days a year to these proud professionals. So anyone there that has AP or something like it in your title, from me, from Mary, from anyone who's listening, thank you so much for the work you do. You really are the backbone, not the back office, the backbone of any thriving organization. And we thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Bye, everybody.